Hi students, today we are going to learn about understanding different sampling methods. So we just discussed in the previous lesson something about the sampling methods. Today we'll see there are different sampling methods. What are they? When you conduct research about a group of people, okay, it's rarely possible to collect data from every person in that group. Instead, you select a sample. The sample is a group of individuals who will actually participate in the research. So what you are going to do is, we are going to collect the sample. From the sample only you are going to collect the data. Now the question arises, how to select this sample? To draw valid conclusions from your results, you have to carefully decide how you will select a sample that is representative of the group as a whole. Okay, whenever you collect the sample, it should represent the whole group. Then only whatever you conclude from the sample you are going to conclude about the population, right? That conclusion is perfect. Otherwise, if you do any mistake in selecting the sample, naturally it won't reflect the population parameter, right? Previously we discussed about population parameter. So in order to have a perfect, good sample, there are two ways of sampling methods. One is probability sampling. Another is non-probability sampling. Broadly, we can divide into probability sampling and non-probability sampling. This is a broad division. So under probability sampling, again we'll be having different selections. Under non-probability also we'll be having different methods. So under probability there are different methods, and under non-probability also there are different methods. In general, we'll understand what is probability sampling. It is nothing but random selection. Random plays important role. Here the chance. The important thing is chance. There is a chance for each and every member of the population to go into the sample. Anything can enter into the sample. That is a random selection. So allowing you to make statistical, because it is random, whatever inference you are making, that is perfect inference about the whole of population. Now comes the non-probability sampling. In the non-probability sampling, it is not a random selection. There may be some choice in that. I like, it's very closer to this, so I'm to my place, therefore I'm going to select this. Or as I told you, the example of the accident, when police is going to that particular spot, whoever is present, or in that particular incident, whoever is present, those people will act as a sample. That is incidental sampling. Here you cannot talk about a probability sampling. Therefore, some place we are forced to select some sample, right? If for example I want to get some teaching method I have produced, I've just this I want to check whether it is effective or not. So every school will not give you permission. Suppose you write all the school select by lottery method. There, suppose 3 schools you have selected. If you go to the 3 schools, whatever you have selected, they may not give you permission. So in that case, you cannot go for the random sampling method, because giving permission or not giving permission is school's wish. So sometimes we have to go for this non-probability sampling, and maybe because of the convenience, because certain criteria is there, and so that you can it is helping you to collect some data. So there are 2 types of sampling method. You should clearly explain how you selected. Whenever you write one thesis, that is a problem is there, and you collect the data and you write the report of that. After analyzing, you write the report of that. So you have, in the thesis you have to write what is the method you have used. We should write very clearly how the sample is selected. That is very important part, because if your sample is collected, people will check whether it is going with the problem, whether you have done a correct method or not. So all these things, and what is the conclusion is made, also depend upon the sample you have selected. So all this information is given. Therefore, whenever you write the report, how the sample is selected, it has to be written elaborately. Next is population versus sample. Population is nothing but we have already noticed about the entire group. Sample is a specific group of individuals where you collect the data. So we have this is a narrow understanding. That is, population can be defined as a geographical location. When you define a population, you have to write the geographical location. It may be age, it may be income, it may be anything, any characteristics of the population. Then it is very broad or quite narrow. Maybe you want to make inference about the whole adult population of your country. Maybe your research focuses on customers of a certain company, patients with a specific health condition, or students in a single school. Anything can act as a population for you. It is important to carefully define your target population according to the purpose and practicality of your project. So you have to write the target population. This is my target population, where this is what I can reach. So you should be very much practical. We cannot say that the whole world I am going to check. So it should be the population you are selecting should be more practical. If the population is very large, demographically mixed and geographically dispersed, it might be difficult to gain access to the representative sample. If you take a very big, demographically very big, for example, the whole of, I'm with so a lot of enthusiasm, I'm selecting the whole world, then if you, means it is very difficult for you to, if you can say the sample, now you are going to select the sample, so that representative sample it should be. Therefore, if you are going to, for the whole world, what will happen? There may be some, some island very far away, it's out of reach from you, and you don't have that much money to reach. Then it is impossible for you to collect data, and it cannot be a representative sample. Therefore, you have to see the population, whether it is possible for you to go, it is practical for you to reach. So these are the practicality we have to see. Sampling frame. The sampling frame is the actual list of individuals that the sample will be drawn from. Ideally, it should include entire target population and nobody who is not part of that is population. So you should list everything. For example, I want to take Central University of Tamil Nadu, all students of Central University of Tamil Nadu. So my sample frame will be each and every student of Central University of Tamil Nadu. So I should have the list, student's name. Okay, if I am phone number, suppose I am going to contact the students through email. So I should have the student's name, student's phone number, student email. This basic details, everything should be there. So this is my sampling frame. So from the students list, I am going to select some sample. So the whole of population, Central University of Tamil Nadu is my population, target population. From that I am going to select some sample. So I'm having the sampling frame ready. That means whole of Tamil Nadu students list is there in my hand. That is known as a sampling frame. So each and every student name should be there. None of them should be left out. So that if I select the sample, then it will be a proper method. It will be a perfect sample for me. Scientifically, I have selected the proper sample. So in order to select the sample, I should have sampling frame. From the sampling frame only, I am going to select the sample. Example, you are doing research on working condition at company A. Okay, your population is all 1000 employees of the company. Your sampling frame is the company's HR database, which lists the names and contact details of every employee. So if you are talking about the employee of some company, so each and every employee's name and their contact list, everything should be there in your hand. How you will get? You contact the HR and he will give the details of each and every employee of that particular company. So that will be your sampling frame. Next comes a sample size. Sample size plays very important role. It should not be too small sample, right? If it is too small sample, it won't represent the whole population. So the law of large numbers plays very important role. Then the question arises, how large my sample should be? It should not be too big, very closer to the population. Then you cannot even reach that much sample. It's impossible for you to collect data from very huge sample. So it should be some ideal number, where that number, it is easy for you to collect the details. Therefore, what is the ideal size of the sample? That is sample size calculator. So it calculates what is the population size. Population size will be knowing using the sampling frame. The sampling frame, each and every every unit is listed. Okay, all the details is elaborately listed. From that particular list, you are going to select the sample. Suppose there are 1 lakh members in the population. From that, what is the sample size? So I am going to take 100 people, or I am going to take 200 people. How many people I am going to take as a sample? So if you want to know about that, ideally the number should be very ideal. So you have to use a sample calculator. That sample calculator will ask you about the population size. From that, the sample size will be calculated. It is scientific way of finding the number, right? So that to determine the big your sample, how much big it should be. Okay, larger the sample size, the more accurately and confidently you can make inference. But how large it should be? It should be in you should be in a position to collect data from that sample. So it should be ideal number should be there. Now probability sampling methods. We are now entering into the probability sampling methods. As I told you earlier, there are 2 methods: probability sampling method and non-probability sampling method. So probability sampling method means every member of the population has equal chance. So whatever sample you are taking now, it is from the population. So every member of the population is having the equal chance to enter into the sample. This is the main thing in the probability sampling. Mainly it is used in the quantitative type of research. Qualitative type of research, as I told you earlier, in the qualitative, what you are doing is, it is about the students, it is about some tribe's opinion, what is the culture of the tribe. There and all, you go for a qualitative research. Okay, so you are going to take the unstructured interview and non-participant observation. So many other things are there. But when you talk about quantitative research, then you go for the probability sampling methods, because using the sample, whatever data is collected, and you do data analysis, and you are going to infer about the population. Therefore, the sample you are selecting should be scientifically selected. So if you want to produce the results that are representative of the whole population, you need to use probability sampling technique. There are 4 main. Not only, you don't think that only 4 is there. So we are going to discuss about the main thing. There are 4 main types of probability sampling. One is random sample method, that is simple random sampling. These are the 4 main methods. What is the first one? Simple random sampling. Next is systematic sampling. Next is the stratified sample. Next is a cluster sample. Okay, each one we'll discuss separately. What is a simple random sample? Suppose students are joining in the KG, right? You are having a school and you have lot many applications. Suppose only 30 seats are there. There are say 200 applicants. You want to select only 30 from that. What you do is, all the 200 applicants' name you'll be writing in paper. You put in a box. Okay, just shake that box, and one fine day call all the parents. Let one of the child come and pick up the cheat from that. So lottery method you are using. So each and every child has the equal chance of entering into the sample. Means here your admission, you will be admitting those students. So you are using every student is having the chance. So you are having a scientific method. Okay, there is no bias in that, right? This is known as simple random sample. Now, for example, one movie is there. You want to know about how the movie is, whether people liked it or not. So we'll see this in the next class. Okay, next lesson. Bye, students.